President Cyril Ramaphosa will today host his Ugandan counterpart, Yoweri Museveni, at the Union Buildings. This visit aimed at strengthening the trade relations between the two countries. Uganda's exports to South Africa include cotton, gold, tobacco and coffee, while South Africa trades with vehicles, textiles, machinery and technology. Newzroom Afrika's Govan, Whittles and Hugo Ribatika, they are at the Union Buildings this morning. Good morning to you both, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Govan Whittles. The President of Uganda has not been in South Africa for a very long time. In fact, the last time he was here, it was 2011. What brings him here this time around?
Well, it's opportunity, Oli, and it comes to South Africa at a crucial time where discussions, negotiations about trade present immense potential, but also at a time where Uganda's role in the Central African region could be towards South Africa's favor. Yoweri Museveni, the Ugandan president, known to be a fit person, someone who posts videos of himself doing exercises. We expect to see him going around the red carpet, inspecting the Guard of Honor at about 10 o'clock. That's in an hour's time. But the substance of the negotiations with the South African delegation will likely focus on the opportunity to increase trade. In 2021, that trade between the two countries was worth 3 billion rand. Between 2017 and 2020, the trade between Uganda and South Africa had doubled from around 130 million to 270 million. That's just one way, actually, from South Africa to Uganda. Of course, coming back the other way, it was even more. And since then, there's been immense potential in the areas of automotive, automotive industry and agriculture, as well as South Africa's more advanced communications industry, helping to strengthen Uganda. And then I alluded to it in the beginning, Oli, the issue of security in the Great Lakes region in Central Africa is becoming paramount. Uganda shares a border with the DRC and with Rwanda. They could be South Africa's more influential partner in repairing, I suppose, the relationship with Rwanda, certainly strengthening it. We know that Rwanda had fired or had shot down a Democratic Republic of Congo Air Force jet in January, saying that it invaded on Rwandan airspace. We know that the M23 rebels are edging closer to Goma, that South Africa played a crucial role in fighting those very same M23 rebels. In fact, South Africa's special forces are known in the DRC to have conducted some of the more dangerous missions and have successfully broken down the chain of command of the M23 rebels. It's actually accepted that South Africa played the role of the tip of the spear in the defeat of the M23 rebels, which are now resuscitating their movement and beginning a new offensive on the DRC. South Africa, of course, fighting the other terrorists in Mozambique, in the Cabo Delgado region, in the Samim operation. Parallel to that, Rwanda is also launching an operation to help protect the infrastructure leading towards a potential gas pipeline for French company Total. We know that the Samim operation has been an important focus for South Africa, and it's sought to strengthen its relationships with Rwanda. That's all important because Uganda plays an important role in negotiating with Rwanda. Uganda not only has the potential to be a big trade partner for South Africa, but also to be a sort of diplomatic beachhead in the Great Lakes region and put forward South Africa's policy positions towards important conflicts. Of course, trade will dominate this discussion. That's the reason why there's such a senior delegation of ministers, which includes Fikile Mbalula, Oli, the Minister of Transport. Might be the last time we see him in that capacity as Minister of Transport before a cabinet reshuffle. Of course, this day will come to an end with a media briefing with the South African President, and that'll give us an opportunity to pose some difficult questions to our head of state following his engagement with the head of state of Uganda.
Yeah, Govan, Whittles giving us the lay of the land there in terms of these trade talks that are going to happen between South Africa and Uganda. Hugo, let's come to you. Govan Whittles, you heard him earlier talking about President Museveni being a very fit person who usually posts videos of himself exercising, but perhaps he was alluding to something here, because President Museveni is one of those long-time leaders on the continent, perhaps even referred to as the Ugandan strongman. Do you think issues such as human rights abuses in his country, the government that he leads, are likely to feature as part of the line of questioning by the journalists there? And I say this, Hugo, because this month his government has taken a decision to close down the United Nations Human Rights Office in Uganda on the back of growing human rights abuses against his government. At least those are the accusations against his government. Do you think that that line of questioning is likely to come up?
Tolly, you're absolutely right. There's certainly a lot of issues around human rights abuses that have been levelled against Yoweri Museveni and his government in Uganda. As we know, he took over in leadership in 1986. So he's one of the longest-serving African presidents. And there have been several accusations about how they have managed or failed to manage human rights issues in that country. So you're absolutely right. I do believe that there will be a number of questions that will be posed. But is it likely to steer his thinking in any particular direction? I doubt that very much, Collie. I think what he will be focused on certainly is some of the successes that he's enjoyed in improving the economy of Uganda, if you will, over the last few years. So a number of MOU are likely to be signed during the course of proceedings today, and I can tell you that MOUs between the Industrial Development Corporation, the IDC, Uganda Development Corporation and the Uganda Development Bank, corporate MOUs on tourism, transport-related matters, field of information and communication technologies. We've already heard from an official from MTN who is at present here in South Africa, speaking about the business forum that is currently underway at Gallagher Estate in Johannesburg, where I believe that as many as 300 business people have come out from Uganda to be a part of this process. And all that speaks to the deficit in trade between the two countries, if you will. Govan Whittles alluded to it earlier, where trade between the two countries has been pegged at a little bit over 3 billion over the last few years, but Uganda has only managed to export something in the region of 300 million. So obviously lots and lots of sentiment around how can they improve trade between the two countries, and all that likely to happen during the course of today. And the two presidents at 2 o'clock this afternoon will go across to Gallagher Estate to address that business summit.
Thank you very much, my colleagues Hugo, Ribatika and Govan Whittles, live for us at the Union Buildings. We will bring you that particular occasion when the two presidents do walk down the stairs to inspect the Guard of Honor.